Yay! Hey, everybody. When you see Fran, you already know it's Friday. Well,
Period.
welcome to Fran and Friends podcast. You guys already know I have some guests that are on the show because they just always have something to contribute. And I mean that in the most valuable way. These are not just people that talk a good game, they live it. So I am honored to have my sister on here, Coach K, and she is
What's
going to
good?
dive in to let you guys know just a bit of what she does, and also talk about our topic.
And it's facts. What's good, sis? First of all, thank you for having me back. Like, I'm so glad to be back. And let me just say, from the last time I've been here, baby, the podcast is rolling. So I'm super proud of you, sis. Like, super, super proud of you. I had to make sure I told you that. So thank you again for having me.
Thank you, sister. I appreciate that.
But what's good, y'all? My name is Kisha, aka Coach K. I am the founder of Upgraded Mindsets LLC. I am located in the Midwest, baby, Peoria, Illinois. I am a full time life and business coach. I am a two-time podcast host, Amazon best-selling author. I am a serial entrepreneur, baby, because I will do whatever it takes to make sure that I elevate as an entrepreneur. All
I love
right.
that.
But I work with women when it comes to mindset transformation and startup entrepreneurial purpose. Why do I put those together? You ask, because a lot of times women that want to start businesses, the personal clarity has not been established. They're working with outdated values, outdated belief systems, and things like that. So we have to shift the mindset first on a personal level, so you can have the mindset to do what it takes to elevate as an entrepreneur. So that's what I did. That's what I had to do. So I now teach others how to do the same thing. So that is what I do in a nutshell. I have a podcast, Empowering Real Talk. I have another podcast called The Woman's Hustle, Thrills and Spills of Entrepreneurship. Listen, anything that I can do to inspire, empower, uplift, motivate, to help us become the most empowering version of ourselves, baby, you're going to catch me doing that. So this episode of Fran and Friends is going to be no different for your girl, and neither for Fran, because Fran definitely has some amazing topics on here. So I'm just happy to be a part, sis.
Thank you, sis. Oh, man. So, you know, when people have conversations that they want to have with either loved ones or at work, maybe they want to ask their boss for a raise but they don't know how to, or even if they want to cut off, like, leaving the place,
Mm,
sometimes the transition could be a bit difficult. And so
absolutely.
having that conversation, what have you found that some of your clients come up to you and talk about, and then how do you guys shift into that space where it makes them a bit more comfortable having that conversation?
Well, I want to say first off, a lot of people have a false sense of reality, right? So when I speak on that, I feel like a lot, and honestly, I'm not gonna say I feel like I see. It's been proven. A lot of people think that there is just a such thing as an overnight transformation. There is not. When you have spent years operating a certain way, thinking a certain way, living a certain way, you're not gonna wake up from Monday to Tuesday and be like, you know what? Everything is changed. I'm doing everything completely different. Now, you want to get yourself into that mindset, but the habits, the routine, the nature that you have dealt with for maybe 40 years is not just going to go away overnight.
Mhm.
So, in my experiences, it's you have to have that hard conversation with yourself first,
Mhm.
and that really involves some deep self-reflection, so saying, okay, I'm not satisfied. You have to admit that you're not satisfied with life, whatever that is for you, whether it is you wanting to ask for a raise at a job, whether you're wanting to leave that job, whether you have a toxic family, because let's be real, a lot of people have them, toxic friendships, toxic relationships. You
Right.
have to be honest with yourself first and admit that there is something that you have to change within those circumstances.
Mhm.
So the first thing is self-reflection, reflecting on what is it going to look like? What type of conversation do you feel you need to have? And you might not even know, right? So me, for example, I had some relationships that I have ended, on this journey that I've been on for the past 4 years, but it really had I had to cry about it,
Mm.
right? It's okay to cry about these things
Yeah.
because it's a level of grief. It's a level of mourning. And,
Yeah.
grief and mourning is not just involving death, it's
Right.
involving loss, loss of a friendship, loss of a relationship, hell, loss of your confidence.
Yeah.
These are the conversations that you have to have with yourself first. So it really does start with self.
Mm. I love that. Thank you.
Mhm.
So when they do have the conversation with themselves and they know where to go, it just really makes it clear from that point, I'm assuming.
Yeah. It it still is a struggle, right? Because again, you're making changing everything about your life. You're
Mm.
making mindset shifts. So if you believed a certain way, I have had a lot of clients that when they come to me, they're like, family is over everything. I'm loyal to my family no matter what, right? And what has happened is their family is the reason why they have passed up on opportunities.
Yeah.
They have said no to things that could be the better for them, but because their family wasn't involved, they said no. And then what happens? Now they're mad. They're mad at the world and they're mad at their family because their family is not going on that journey with them.
Mm.
So now it's like you have to be accountable to say, I have to be ready to leave whatever and whoever is not ready to take these steps with me. Because, man, y'all, and I say this every day, all day, everybody not going to be ready and everybody is not going to want to go.
Mm.
But when you are ready to go and when you are going, you're going to hear, oh, she thinks she better than, I don't know what she got going on. She feel like this, she feel like that. You cannot let that get to you because all they're trying to do is revert back to where they got the most benefit from you. They're
Mm.
trying to revert you back to the negative toxic ways that you may have grew up with, but you're tired of now, right? So it is going to be a lot of uncomfortable conversations, a lot of uncomfortable shifts. But just because they're uncomfortable does not mean they're not necessary. My tagline every day is the journey is necessary. It's necessary for you to break free from that. It's necessary for you to set them boundaries. It's necessary for you to have that hard conversation with yourself first, because I ain't even got to the point of talking to the family or the friends or the those yet or the job yet. I ain't even got to that point. This is the stuff that you have to do for yourself first. This because sometimes we don't have the strength
Mm.
to go ahead and enforce those boundaries and say, you know what, I'm tired of dealing with this. We can say it all day, but how many of us are guilty of saying I'm done dealing with this, and a week later we still dealing with it?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
So how
so
do
go
no,
ahead.
please just go ahead. I think you already headed into it. Let's go.
Hey,
Let's go.
I'm ready to roll with it because these are conversations that I have all the time. Um, it's time to sit them down. Hey, we
Mm.
need to talk. We need
Yeah.
to have a conversation, and their acceptance or denial of that still needs to happen.
Mm.
And sometimes people don't want to hear. Oh, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear what they got to say. I don't want to hear what they got going on. This, that, the other. But you gonna hear it anyway. You know what I'm saying? You gonna hear it anyway. And I'm gonna say it. Whether I'm saying it to you in a voice message over the phone,
Mm.
whether I'm saying it to you in a text message, however I'm saying it to you, I'm gonna get it out because I'm done holding that shit in.
Oh shit.
I'm done holding it in. So I'm gonna have that conversation one way or another. So
So
if you have somebody that's like, oh, I don't want to hear what you got to say. You ain't talking about nothing, baby. Listen. Oh, okay. You
yeah,
gonna hear it one way or another. You gonna read it, or you gonna listen to it through a voice message, but you gonna hear it one way or another.
like these things open up opportunities for us to one give ourselves the validation that we need
Yep.
in the conversation. Like your body already knows, your mind already knows, you just ain't said it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we do have that conversation, it gives us so much freedom, and we honor ourselves. We honor ourselves when we say what is tingling in our body to get out.
Oh my God.
We
Listen.
honor ourselves.
I want to make a quote by, I see one of my friends, Lucky, actually made a comment, and he said, you have to develop that friendship with yourself first. And that is so important because most of the time, what I have noticed is prioritize other things and other people and other people's situations, and because of that, we deflect on our own. So establishing that friendship with yourself first is going to give you the strength to be able to start having those hard, uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah,
You
they are a
know,
buildup. Oh,
yeah, everything like you said, getting out of your comfort zones, like
girl,
all of those things are part of the mindset shifts that you are on that journey to recreate, realigning yourself, reconditioning. I use the word
I love
reconditioning
that.
because that is exactly what you're doing, what you're ready to do. You're ready to recondition your entire life. Things that you have lived a certain way for so many years, you're tired of that. You
Mm,
ready to recondition all of that.
mm.
10
And
years ago, y'all could have never told me I like nature. Baby, I love nature now. Like so just one
nature is the realist.
man, you feel me? Like, and I've been asleep all these years, but because I
Hey.
just lived in an outdated state of mind,
Mm,
all
mm,
these bugs bothering me, baby. I don't care about no bugs. I ground. I walk
mm.
barefoot
I love
in
that.
nature.
I love that.
You
I'm gonna
know.
I'm gonna go back and read Josh's thing because sometimes my StreamYard and YouTube they just don't connect. So I'm gonna
Oh,
see.
right. I know. I
So he
know.
said he's here. His transitions and
Hey,
growth takes
lucky
time.
baby.
Thank you so much. He says you have to develop that friendship with yourself first.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
fact.
loss of your comfort zone. Loyalty can equate to loss of self. Ooh,
Ooh, come
let's sit
on,
right
Lucky.
there.
Talk
Woo,
about it. Talk
woo.
about it, friend.
I feel like I need to invite him up here.
Hey, he would be a great. I'm definitely gonna connect you to. I would love for Lucky to come on here. He would be a great. I love Lucky so much. He's been on the podcast a couple times,
Has
and
he?
we met like virtually in connection. And Lucky is so amazing. He's so amazing. I gotta definitely give my boy a shout out. So.
Man, Lucky, you are more than welcome. Now, sis, let's sit on this for a minute because I was about to tell you, like, some people, like you said, there's reconditioning that occurs.
Mhm.
And because they have been conditioned to think one way for so long, um, people even have to build up a sense of courage and
Mhm.
strength to get to this space.
Yep.
And so, like when we were talking about earlier, like saying those things, whether by text, voicemail, phone call, like all those things are honoring ourselves so that way we can get to the spaces that we
Absolutely.
really need to be, that will serve our highest selves.
Yep. And it's going to be a journey, and I won't tell anybody that there's not going to be days where you're like, wow, why did I do this? I miss them. When I tell people this, they think that I'm just telling them that those emotions are just going to go away. They're not.
Mm,
But you can't let those emotions trump your emotions and your reconditioning of life,
mm,
because a lot of times we allow our negative and our old methods hold us back. As
mm.
I said before, there's so many people that I know.
Confirmation.
Hey,
My phone went ding. It's like confirmation.
it's true.
Confirmation.
Like, there's so many people, including myself, that have allowed other people's problems, situations, to prioritize over myself.
Mm,
You see it on social media all the time. People share quotes like, oh, I was there for them, they weren't there for me. And when are you going to stop doing that? That
mm,
doesn't mean stop being a supportive person. What it
right.
means is to go on a journey of self prioritization, realignment, reconditioning, so you can embrace the more mentally healthy version of yourself. So you can still be supportive to people, but just not at the expense of yourself.
Yeah. And going into like, we don't really, not we don't really, but it's something to think about. The more that we invest into ourselves, the better we
Oh,
become
yeah.
for ourselves and for others. And I can't even stress enough how much. that will cause you to love yourself enough to create those boundaries, to create
Mhm.
that strength that you need to say what you need to say, and just well, this list can go on and on, right,
Hey,
sis?
it really can, but like I'm gonna tell you guys this, right? Yes, these conversations are going to be hard. These
Mm,
conversations are going to scare you. You're going to be so worried about how they're going to feel when you have the conversations with them.
mm,
But in that moment, I want you to think about it. How are you going to feel? You're going to feel liberated. You're going to feel the bricks coming off of your shoulders.
mm,
You're going to feel a sense of security within yourself. You're going
mm.
to feel a sense of renewed confidence. So, whose feelings are more important?
Right.
Their feelings are going to be hurt, y'all. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I'm not going to tell you that people ain't going to lash out after you. Oh,
Right.
think you just shit did. How dare you? They going to do whatever it takes to keep you in that old space.
Mm,
But you have to be resilient enough to say, hey, whatever you throwing at me, it's not enough to keep me in that old space. I'm still ready to thrive. I'm tired of surviving. I'm ready to thrive.
mm.
So, whatever that's going to take and require, whatever I have to relinquish for that to happen, I'm ready to let that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going back in there to really,
Oh, thank you, baby.
yeah, thank you. Um, Look at that. Kisha helped me to find strength to go back to therapy and face my inadequacies, and I like to dig into that. Because she out here doing some real work with real people and getting some real results.
Thank you.
The things that we find inadequate of ourselves could actually be our strengths.
Mhm. And that's a fact. That is a fact. I have always been a vocal person. I've never, never like been quiet, right? If y'all can tell from my tone of voice now, it's always been my tone. But it's like it's a real, like it's so real. And people like, oh, hey, this is definitely my tone. But embracing I had to bring that quality of me being vocal, I
Mm,
had to shift that into helping me become the most empowering version of me.
wow.
Because yeah, I was vocal for everybody else. Yep, I'd step up, defend this, defend that. But then when it came to me and making decisions for me, I would deflect that.
Mm, mm, mm,
So, because now I have applied the tools and strategies to help me embrace my emotions, because let me tell y'all something. When you step into this most empowering version of self, there is nothing nobody can say to you. There is nothing nobody is going to be able to do to you to take you off your square. Now,
mm,
let me put a little disclaimer out there. I don't have no problem checking nobody. Okay. I don't go off of that. One of my mindset shifts, I don't go off of that whole be the bigger person mentality anymore. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if you let people keep playing with you, baby, they're going to keep playing with you. Okay. So, because
Repeat
I
that again, sisters. Repeat
had
it again.
period. If somebody says something to me that I feel like they throwing shade, I feel
Yes.
like they trying to do this, baby, I'm going to let you know that
Yes.
I'm peeping you, right? Oh, I
Mm,
feel I see you, I see the shade, baby, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Because again, nothing nobody can say can take me off my square. Only I can take myself off my
mm,
square. Okay.
mm,
Only
mm,
me, you
mm.
know. So because I have that mentality of I don't got no problem with checking nobody. It doesn't mean I'm trying to be negative, toxic. What it means is it's another hard conversation. Letting somebody know, hey, you gonna stop trying to throw shade at me. You
Mm.
gonna stop trying to act like you being nice when in all actuality you trying to be a bully.
Yeah.
Those are also hard conversations. And I don't got no problem with having them in no way, shape, or form.
And sometimes these people they really don't know, like even in their own behavior, that they're being manipulative.
Yep.
They don't realize it because they don't recognize it within themselves.
Yep. And honestly, some of them do. Some people
Oh,
do, so we're gonna put that out there. I ain't saying everybody, but some people do know what they're doing when you have people who are a little more weak-minded and that they know that they have somebody, oh, I can get, she'll do whatever, she'll do anything and everything for me. He'll do anything it takes for me, they will capitalize on that. And it's unfortunate because that's one of the another things that, restrict us as as individuals, but also as community.
Yeah.
Hey, Theodora said it. We always give each other, yeah, man, come on, sis, talk about it.
We always give other people advice that we fail to take ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm saying,
It's
nah,
so
that's,
easy to do that as a coach too, I swear.
even at times too, I try to catch myself, and I don't always do it at the time. I do it afterwards, and I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
now, now I have to have a now I have to have a come to Jesus moment.
Hey, that part, but that's okay. That's one of the things that help us say, you know what, I'm correcting, because we're not perfect.
Nah,
But if we have one of those moments, I don't have no problem with telling myself, hey, yeah, Keisha, yeah, you might have did a little too much there, but being accountable, because it all boils down to being accountable for self.
yeah.
Just being accountable for ourselves. Being accountable to understand that, yep, I still have a little petty in me. I'm working on it. I still got that, y'all. Like, I am as real as they come. I don't sugarcoat it, and people are like, oh, you a coach? I am absolutely a coach, but I'm one of the realest coaches you're gonna ever come across. You know why? Because this is what you get from me. Just
Mm,
like you hear me talking on here is exactly how my sessions go. My clients love the rawness and the realness of me. My clients love that I will laugh with them. We'll talk a little smack together. They love that. It's authenticity, baby.
I
You
love.
know, and I had to have those, but I also have those hard conversations with them. But because I'm so authentic, when I know that they're not doing what they're supposed to do, hey, accountability check. Why you ain't did this? Why you ain't had this? Don't come at me with no excuses now. You right, Keith. I ain't even gonna do that. I ain't even gonna do that.
Eudora, me too. I still have a little petty spirit.
I mean, it is what it is,
Right.
But just back to the hard conversations, y'all. I'm not telling y'all that these things are gonna be easy. But if you're truly just fed up, you know what I'm saying, with how things are going in life, if you are tired of people testing your gangster,
Mm,
if you are just, you know, at work and you're so frustrated at work that you get home and you're like crying every other night because your boss is making you so mad, your coworkers got you to the point where you ready to just quit every day,
yeah.
you gotta have them hard conversations. Whether you're gonna have it with your boss to
Yeah.
see if it can be rectified, or you're gonna have it with yourself to say it's time for me to move on from this job. I don't care if
Yeah.
you've been there 10 years.
I remember.
We're not living in those times anymore where you gotta stay at a job. Hey, them 2 week notices, baby. People ain't doing that no more, y'all.
That part.
People ain't doing it no more.
Yeah, I remember having a conversation with one of these ladies. She had been working at the company for a very long time, and then she had a certain way of doing things. And then I got on board, and I was like, "Why are you doing this? Because you're duplicating work." And she was just like, "Well, you're just gonna have to deal with it." And I'm like, I said, "I don't know about you, how you ran your team or whatever, but do not send these duplicate emails." What happened? She didn't send the duplicate emails because I stated what my boundary was.
Yep.
So sometimes people, they may have this like behavior of what they think is okay and fine. Yes, it is for them and whoever else wants to go ahead and entertain that behavior.
Right.
But for you and self, you need to know what, not need to, but it would be great if you were in the know about what your boundaries are, what you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept, and also teaching people how to treat you.
Yes. You have to do that. You have to do that. And that involves having hard conversations. These two words are so generalized, but you've got to figure out what that is for you. What kind of conversations, what kind of hard conversations do you have to have? My old job, hey, I wasn't playing that. Hey, listen, I understand how you do with them, but I ain't having that. Ain't going. So please don't come at me like you just tried to come at me. Don't ever come at me like that again in life. Okay? We're not
Hmm.
doing that. Well, I didn't mean anything by you may not have, but I'm just letting you know how I received it. and don't come at me like that no more. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong with setting your boundaries, people, with any and everybody. You
Yeah.
know, we hear the whole respect the elders and stuff. Listen, I'm almost a half a century, baby. I'm finna be the elders. Okay.
That part.
Let me be real with y'all. Ain't letting nobody disrespect me. Now I'm not being disrespectful out the gate, but what I will do is dish what I'm being given. I
Yeah.
swear I will do that so fast. So if
Yeah.
you throwing mad shade at me, for one, I'm gonna call you out on it, and for two, I might dish it back. But then I'm also gonna remove myself,
Mm,
you know, and that will be done with that.
mm,
So be okay with saying, you know what, I don't gotta be around that. I have seen an influx of people, saying no contact with their family and things like that. And if that is okay for people, let that be okay for them. Stop judging people. You don't really understand the traumas that people have gone through within their own families.
right.
I see people, oh, you need to forgive, and I'm not gonna get biblical with y'all because that's a whole nother podcast. But you need to stop judging people because they don't want to have any dealings with their families. You don't know what they have gone through in their families. And if they want to forgive but still not be involved, because we can forgive and still not be involved with people. Okay.
Right.
I've done it. I do it. I forgive because I'm not going to let that restrict my quality of life. You feel me?
Right.
So stop judging people because you see that they don't want to engage or interact with family or friends or anything no more because they have set boundaries. They have forgiven, but they have set them boundaries and they like, I'm straight.
Mm,
They live in life. I could never go. I could never. You know what? You are living in an outdated state of mind, and I can help you change that. Okay.
mm.
Hey, standards, lucky, period. Period. Theodore said in boundaries, man. I'm telling you. I
Man,
ain't I ain't
there's
going.
there's a comment here that Lucky made, and I really I'd like to dig into this.
Mhm.
Professionalism is often limited by personal perception. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. Lord.
Teresa said, "I feel you, sis."
Whoo, let me tell y'all something. Perception is everything. Okay. So Lucky said it like he said, professionalism is too often limited by personal perception. And your values and how you believe and how you live, you're not going to throw that on everybody else. Your whole organization should not be operating off your personal perception. I literally made some content the other day about how a lot of startup entrepreneurs are stuck and not moving forward because they are operating in outdated personal values,
Yeah.
right? And I say that to go into more detail because the people that be like, oh, that's just how I am, that I ain't changing that about me. I'm not saying that there aren't qualities and characteristics that are gonna carry you to the thrive status, right? But if you are somebody that is closed-minded to be taught anything new, to learn anything, to make adjustments in how you live day to day, that is going to keep you stuck forever.
Mm,
We are all supposed to grow in some way, shape, or form. If you're
yes.
still operating in the same values that you had at the age of 10, 15, and you 50, let me
Oh,
tell you something. I'm just gonna look at you because you already know where I'm going with that. You're living in outdated values. Your personal perceptions, you have to be able to one, separate those. If you are on an entrepreneurial journey, those things should be in alignment, true enough. But if you are living with a fixed mindset, you're not going to grow on
mm,
any level.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just important for you to, for one, understand what your perception is. And if your perception is not as a leader, as somebody that is leading, hey, you stuck and
Mm,
you're miserable and you're struggling and you're suffering and you're throwing that off on everybody else. You're throwing your anger off on everybody else. You're throwing your negative vibes and energy off on everybody else. And let me be so real when I say this to y'all. Don't nobody gotta keep dealing with that from y'all. Don't nobody gotta keep dealing with your negativity. I'm
And
tired of people feeling like, oh, that's my family. I can't, man, listen,
mm,
I'm over that. I operate in a new state of mind, and that new state of mind is anybody can get cut off if they are trying to mess with my peace,
you can get it.
mess with my money, mess with my business, and anybody can get cut off. And we gotta start living like that, because you know what's gonna happen? People gonna adjust.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna be like, oh, now the negative person is all by themselves because everybody around them has chosen to grow. Maybe that might be the key that they need to say, you know what, I'm ready to grow too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm gonna read a comment here from Theodora. Yeah, you're right. Because maybe people just need to be cut off so they can be with themselves.
facts.
That's if they don't find themselves in another situation where they distract themselves and then they keep going in that cycle.
Yep.
But we gonna keep reading. Theodora said, Theodora Carter said, emotional intelligence is key to managing your personal perception. You have to be self-aware and know how to pivot and adapt and still honor your values.
Period,
Yes.
sis. Period. It's facts. Because as I continue to grow, me now adjusting with a growth mindset, I am now a lifelong learner. As a coach, I have pivoted and I will continue to pivot because I'm always receptive. I'm always open minded to receive. I'm now able to receive constructive criticism. Before somebody would say that to me when I was in the outdated method, it was like, whatever, you a hater. We so quick to say that, oh, you a hater. No, let me, especially if I know someone is really trying to genuinely help me. But that is also, as Theodora said, being more self aware of me,
Yes.
being more self-aware. I'm able to know who really throwing shade and who genuinely is trying to say some things to try to help me.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be around anybody that I see it. Listen, y'all, if people are doing nothing but throwing shade around you, talking negatively about other people, please trust and believe they are generally probably doing the same thing about you.
True. Very, very true. Click this right here. Joshua said, keep an open mind always, and you can't always be right.
Nope.
You mean we're not perfect?
Yep. We're not. And I don't want to be, I don't want to be perfect, because that means that I don't have any room to grow. And
Mm,
I have a lot of room to grow. There's a lot of things that I have to do, with that. And I still have hard conversations with myself, the hard conversations that I'll say, oh, I don't see myself kind of going back a little bit, and kind of being a little more, lenient on things. I see myself, kind of letting up on that boundary a little bit. Listen, I have conversations with myself daily.
man,
And sometimes we have to do that. Growth requires that. you know Growth requires you having a self-reflective moment. Every Sunday, y'all, is my self-reflection day. I don't do a lot. I do host my Growth Over Everything virtual community every other Sunday, but other than that, I am reflecting on the week of past, the week ahead, but also what can I change?
mm,
What do I need to adjust? What did I not get done? How did I fall short in areas? What did I excel in areas, baby? I'm always looking at ways to help myself grow and pivot as a person, and especially as an entrepreneur. But I want to go back to the person first,
mm,
because a transparent moment, earlier this year, I had to really have the conversation with myself. Well, I said at the beginning of the year, a lot of people would always ask me, oh, what about you? I would be so quick to talk about my business, but I really wasn't talking about myself
mm,
as a woman.
mm,
So that was the conversation that I had to have with me. Like, it's time to have that hard conversation with me and stop throwing my business out there first, even though I'm proud of my business. Hey, I love what I do, right? But if I can't identify who I am as an individual first, then I got to have that hard conversation.
yeah.
So you got to have a hard conversation to identify who you are or who you want to become. And now it's time to put the policies in place to make that happen.
Mm. So you review what happened last week, what's going to happen ahead, and then
Yep.
you review what has already happened and how you can improve.
I absolutely do.
Yeah.
That because I've gotten myself in the habit. That is a new habit. Well, I don't call it new no more because I've been doing it for a long time, but that is a habit that I had to adjust. Whereas, we'll endlessly scroll on social media. We all guilty of it.
Yes.
I will catch myself after 10 minutes. All right, let me put this down. And I'm going to go into something else,
Mm,
because my mindset is used to me being productive with my brain.
that makes
My
sense.
my
Yeah.
brain is not, after 2 hours, if I'm still strolling on social media, something wrong with me. Like, my mindset has shifted.
Mm,
And that is because of the tools that I've put in, whether it's through mindfulness, whether it's through meditation, whether it's through self-reflection, self-discovery, self-evaluation,
yeah.
accountability. Those are some of the things that I actually implement kind of on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But it involves the reconditioning of life, y'all. Those are some of the things. If you don't do nothing else, listen to those words. And if you catch this on the replay, write those words down, because those are the words that are going to be so critical in helping you recondition your entire mindset and become the better version, and be around those that are going to help you become better as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
For myself, for reflection, and I do this every day too. M- but for the past couple weeks, I've been doing something called morning pages.
Mm-hmm.
So that it comes out of the book, The Artist's Way. For people that probably ain't seen it, this is called The Artist's Way,
Nice, 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 nice.
and it's a 12-week like commitment. You even sign like a little pledge on there saying, okay, this is what you're going to do for the next 12 weeks. But every day you get up and you do like a brain dump. You have 3 pages. You have to use your longhand and write it
Mm,
with pen on paper. I think it just does something mentally for the transference of that energy from everything that you held on from the past day, and you just dump it. Why? Because it clears out energy for
yes,
you to make space for something new, and also to it's a creation energy.
absolutely.
So
Ooh, I love that. Lucky said it. Send me the link. I need to buy that. Facts,
it's called The
facts.
Artist Way. You can find it on Amazon, but make sure you get the book and the workbook. The Because of course you can't do one without the other.
Right.
But
But
whew,
even like I said, when it comes to hard conversations, y'all, I'm just gonna give y'all a little bit of insight. And what I talked about a little bit earlier, whatever those hard conversations are, whether if it's with a boss, whether it's with a coworker, whether it's with a family member, whether it's with a friend, um, it's gonna have to happen regardless.
mhm.
So really be in control of how that happens instead of letting it control you.
Oh,
And that again is going to involve you, if this person, hey, let's go to dinner, let's go to lunch, let's go to the park, find a neutral location, find a location that is not going to be, you know a toxic space. You
yeah.
don't want to have that conversation at the club, y'all. No, you don't want to have it while you drinking. I don't recommend that.
Or
But
with other
just,
family members.
yeah, no, you don't want to have it about around a whole bunch of family members, especially if it's just one family member. And if it's your whole family, then you still don't want to have it with everybody at once, because baby, they're gonna gang up on you and they are going to try to break you. Okay.
Yes. I wanted to
So
talk about that too.
yes, yeah. When it comes to family, you have to really know that a lot of people may not want to change. We have people that are stuck in the struggle mindset, and they are okay with being there. You guys, they're okay with being there. Um, oh yeah, I definitely, there you go. From havoc to healing, From havoc to healing, 30 days of reconditioning is available on Amazon, but it's also available on my website, which is upgradedmindsets.shop. So this is literally the first 30 days of my transformational journey. Guys, this is the first 30 days of my thoughts, what I was doing, how I was about to make those changes. But I also got creative and put some self reflection pages in there as well. So
Mm.
each chapter that you read, you're able to like evaluate how that works for you and write your own self reflections. Okay. So this is available on Amazon, but it's also available at upgradedmindsets.shop. Thank you, Lucky. I appreciate that, boo. I also want to plug this one too because this is the journey to activate our best life. This is a self discovery guide. This is full of affirmations, declarations. It is full of self reflection
Read a couple,
questions.
sis.
Yes, it is all kind. This is available at upgradedmindsets.shop. um Declaration: I control my life. I am the
Mm.
captain of my ship. I make my own decisions and take responsibilities for my choices. I listen to my intuition. I define what success means for me instead of comparing myself to others. These are just full of affirmations that are going to help you shift your entire mindset. These are things that worked for me and still work for me. Y'all don't think I don't use my own tools still to this day? I'm telling you, I definitely do. But those things are also going to help you have hard conversations,
Mm.
because discovering who you are is going to be able to help you make it easier for you to decide who you want in your life and who you don't,
Absolutely.
who's still
Absolutely.
valuable and who isn't. So having those hard conversations, and I know I have talked about a lot for you guys to process today, but it's so passionate to me because I was that people pleaser, y'all. I was that person that prioritized everybody else. My sister passed away. I took on two children, at the drop of a dime. Do I regret that? I do not. But because I didn't process the emotions behind that, I struggled a
Mm.
lot. I'm a cancer survivor. I was going to chemo treatments and still getting out of chemo and still going to do for other people, y'all. I'm sick, I'm nauseated, I'm taking medication so I can continue to go.
Wow.
So I am so passionate about this because I was that person.
Mm.
And I had those hard conversations with my family. I told them, listen, I'm to the point now where it's dangerous for me.
Mm.
I'm ready to harm you or myself. You know what I'm saying? I had to have them conversations. And I love my family. It didn't go over well in the beginning, but we are so cool now because I implemented those boundaries,
Yeah.
and they are now understanding where I was coming from with that.
What's a hard moment that you had with them that you could share with us, that you feel comfortable sharing with us, where you had to teach them this, and now because of that, this is the space that you guys are in? Could you give us like a little example?
Absolutely. So, in the beginning of my journey, as I stated, I sent a group chat to my family and I told them that I couldn't do this anymore. I was really struggling and I was ready to hurt somebody.
Mm.
Now, I sent that to my entire family. It wasn't anything in particular that they did, but because I had always been the person that put their needs ahead of mine. And I'm not going to say that my family was selfish to that degree, because honestly, they weren't, right? But they were used to me handling business for them, taking care of everything, no matter what, at the expense of myself.
Mm.
So, but I had to have that conversation. And a few of them didn't understand it at first. They didn't really grasp that. But we really didn't have a conversation about it. And I was okay with for a while. So, my mom kind of had the conversation with me, and it wasn't an easy conversation. As a matter of fact, we kind of had words. We exchanged words probably more than a couple times because I wasn't being disrespectful, but now I'm setting boundaries.
Mm.
So, in order to set those boundaries, you're going to have to say no to something that they just feel like, oh, you should have said yes. Nope, I didn't want to do it.
So
And,
just
and I don't
expressing
owe you an
yourself.
explanation
Mm.
as to why I didn't want to do it. Because sometimes we will say no, but then we spend 10 minutes trying to explain why we saying no.
Mm.
Don't got to do that. It's just no. Now I'm gonna look at you because you looking at me and I'm looking at you. But you waiting on me to explain myself and I'm not.
Mm,
I have every right to protect my mental well-being at whatever cost that is. And if that is a cost of telling you no, because right now mentally I'm not in a good space, because I still have those moments. So if that's where I'm at that moment, I'm not finna feel bad because I can't do for you. I don't have that full cup right now. So I
mm.
can't do for you.
Why do people have feel the need that they need to explain themselves?
Because it's just embedded. It's a societal standard.
Hmm,
It's not a standard, but a stigma.
hmm,
It's a stigma that needs to be broken. I don't owe you an explanation. I don't owe you an explanation as to why I can't do something for you.
hmm,
You don't know what I'm going through. We
hmm,
never know what anyone else is going through at any particular moment. I'm very mindful of somebody else's feelings, but let me say this. I'm mindful of somebody else's feelings, but I'm not that mindful to where I'm going to suppress my own to be mindful of yours.
hmm, hmm.
So if it's something that I need to speak on and get off my chest, guess who's going to have that hard conversation?
We are.
Me. And now it's to the point people know that about me now. So they just be like, "Oh, Keisha, what you got? You in Coach K mode or you Keisha in Keisha mode?" Really, it's kind of a little bit of both. You know. Period, lucky.
I'm
Period.
I'm gonna read a couple of comments over here. So
Yeah,
we have Cynthia Robinson. She said, "Yes, I know what you mean.
I
Setting
love it,
boundaries
sis.
for myself now. You go, girl."
Yes.
And then Joshua Lucky, he said, I give up my best friend for 30 years because he became jealous of my personal success and new direction, and I was taking, and it hurt him. But I love me first.
Yep.
Period.
That's it.
And then we
That's
got
it.
Lucky
Ooh, it's a
again.
couple more. Please put them up there because I love, especially Alicia's. I love it.
My mental and spiritual health comes first. Period.
Period.
Period. And then Lucky said again, I will be mindful, but I won't minimize me.
Straight like that.
And then
Straight like that.
Alicia said, telling someone no and not feeling like I need to give an explanation.
Yes,
We'll
sis.
practice that because that
Practice it.
sounds freeing. Girlfriend,
Yeah.
sister.
Hey, give them the look. Like anything else?
And it's gonna be hard
It,
too to
and it
do the
is.
look.
It's going to, Alicia, it is going to be hard, baby girl. I am never going to tell you that that is going to be easy, but you practice that. Hey, if you got to practice in the mirror looking at yourself like it's
Right?
somebody else after you said
Right?
no, like you do what you got to do. Okay. You do what you got to do because you don't need to spend 10 minutes explaining why you can't do something for somebody, and I'm not saying that you don't always have to explain yourself, but I'm speaking from the term of somebody that's trying to mentally drain you, somebody that's trying to, intentionally cause havoc or, whatever else. And you don't want to be bothered with that. You
Yeah.
can just say no. Now,
Yeah.
if it's someone like, hey, hey, you want to hang out tonight? Oh no, I'm not really not feeling like it. It's been a long day. That type of thing, totally fine. Now, if
Yeah.
they keep pressing you about it, then go ahead and give them the look. Like, no.
Because I could already hear but why?
Yeah. Yeah.
But why?
Yep. It's facts, and y'all, it's so many things to process when you are just like really needing to make, adjustments in life in general,
Yeah,
whether it's through life, just standard life, whether your professional life, your entrepreneurial life. There are so many things that need to be adjusted. But starting off, as I said in the beginning, to have that hard conversation with yourself, so you know that you got to have a hard conversation with somebody else. This is something I've been dreading. I don't want to do this,
yeah,
but it's bothering me and I really need to get this off my chest. So I
mm,
really need to initiate a conversation.
for sure. And if you do need to have that conversation, you
Alicia said
do
she
need
got
to
that look locked
practice.
and loaded.
Oh, hold on. Let me go back to these comments. Theodora says
Yes.
she's clapping, and then Josh Lucky says, "When I met God, I have to justify my actions and intentions, not yours." Oh, when I meet God.
Come on, Lucky. I know.
Theodora said, telling someone no is a learned behavior for most people, but is so freeing when dealing with toxic people who are prone to.
Yes. Mm.
And then
Come on, Theodora, sis.
take
Tell
it,
them, sis.
Alicia said, I received that and I got that locked and loaded, lol. Woo, and Lucky,
I
the
love it.
journey is necessary. I
Hey,
mean,
that's
yeah,
my tagline. He know
I
that's my
know.
boy. He
It,
know.
it it all comes back to that, right?
Yeah,
Because
it
in order
does.
for us to really have growth, we really have to go on a journey.
Yes.
And one thing that I was thinking about today is bypassing. Some
Mm.
people utilize a certain behavior and say, "Oh yeah, I already did that work," but they didn't really do that work. And using it as a way to get around the lesson that they should be learning. That way it could be something that it could be now be a character trait that could carry them through in their next journey. So could you touch a little bit on what that bypassing looks like?
So to me, what I've noticed when people try to bypass is you just got to, again, be more mindful of self, be more self aware, because you'll pick up on some of the things that they say, some of the actions that they do that shows that they are still in those outdated values and operating in an outdated state of mind. They'll say all day, because let's be real, somebody that is really on the growth journey, they're not going to spend every day telling you about it, baby. Their actions are going to show it. So even though I do talk about it, but I speak from it from a coaching standpoint, a reflection standpoint, and also I know that my audience is wanting to hear the journey that I have had to go on. But my actions reflect it every day.
Yeah.
When it's just my day-to-day life, people see me now here in my city, and it's crazy because like people be like, oh, I didn't want to come and speak to you, please come and speak to me.
Mm,
I'm not a celebrity, I'm not none of that. I am just a real raw individual. Don't feel like you can't come and speak to me, but I my actions show it.
mm,
My actions show it. Whether I'm at the park at 6 o'clock in the morning, because I have now adopted this summer, I adopted a new habit for myself. Instead of getting up and meditating at home, I now go to the park and I ground and I meditate there and I actually record content at the
mm.
park. You
Okay.
know, so those are just things, those are my actions, but I'm not going to spend every day, oh yeah, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Oh, I'm doing this. I ain't going to do all that every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do all that. So somebody that's trying to bypass, that's exactly what you're going to see. You're going to see them talking about a lot of things. So the next time you see that, you ask, oh, well, what did you do today? Oh, I just did the regular. What's the regular? If they can't tell you what the regular is, might that's some bypassing going on. We see that, self-care and self-love is trending, right? But a lot of people aren't really acting on these things that they talk about on social media. They just talk about it, but they're not really living that life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a person's actions, my actions to the point with me is, if social media is getting overwhelming for me, guess who logging off?
Mm,
Guess who don't care how long I'm logged off? And as a business owner, that is very critical. I have multiple business pages. I monitor multiple pages for my clients. But guess who don't got no problem logging off? I think on my Facebook, like you can switch the pages. I think I have like 18 different Facebook pages that I
dang.
monitor. But guess who don't got no problem logging off? In no way, shape, or form. But that's because I am my number one priority. So
Fact.
if mentally I am not capable to handle this, how am I being effective if I'm not handling it? I'm
Facts.
logging off,
Yeah.
you know?
I was telling Alicia this morning because we have this thing that we do together at like 8 o'clock, and I'm usually like, okay, I'm in there, I'm starting up, and we're all talking. But today, I was just like, I was having one of those days where Fran needed to mother herself.
Yeah,
Even though I'm good at being a mother for those
yeah,
that are in need of attention or need some type of thing that is needed. Um, I just told her, sis, I love you, appreciate you, but this is what I had to do today.
Yep. And it's okay. And,
Yeah,
and and you got a growth minded tribe around you, baby. They gonna understand that.
yeah,
They gonna understand that you got to take that moment because honestly, they should be taking those moments too. Your tribe is gonna understand that. If they're your real tribe and they are ready to hear you, see you grow, they gonna understand that. Sis, take the time you need. It's okay. Take
mm,
the time you need. So I love that you were able to even embrace that because sometimes when we're around certain people and situations we won't even adjust that. We'll just continue to try to keep going.
yeah,
But
yeah,
how effective are you being from a professional standpoint, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, if mentally you are struggling?
yeah.
Okay.
Social media is so rampant. I think
Ooh,
one of
girl.
one of the things that I find so important that I've seen this go around like so many times, but rest is revolutionary.
Mhm. Absolutely. And whatever that rest looks like for you, it doesn't have to be sleep. It could be me. I will lay across my couch and I will listen to like something on YouTube. I will listen to an audio book and I will stare at the wall and just listen to that and do absolutely nothing. Or I might be folding laundry and listening to that audio book. So I'm being productive in a way, but also I'm okay when the days that I'm not being productive
Mm,
because I don't have a problem. And I tend to like if I have an event, like I have an event tomorrow. So I probably engage with a lot of people tomorrow, things like that. So Sunday, whew, Sunday is growth over everything for me, but I love that I have the virtual space of growth over everything because my community, they will see me in PJ still. Like we have built that community. I have had growth over everything for a year. So when we're on there, we don't have a problem with seeing each other in our PJs and stuff like that, but we're still communicating, we're still being effective, and we're still talking about topics that are based off the growth standpoint, which is gratitude, resilience, optimism, wellness, thriving, happiness over everything.
mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about those things. So be okay with taking a mental reset. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what they're there for. That's
Mm,
why all these tools and resources and people are out here to show you and help you how to take those resets. You
right.
want to be the best version of yourself as much as you possibly can, but on the days that you're not, it's okay to say, I'm not.
Sister, thank you for your wisdom. We are getting ready to log off, but what is one thing that you want people to take away with them for today? What is because
Mm.
girl, you dropped so many nuggets that ain't even funny. I hope y'all took notes. I hope you guys
Hey,
had your pen and papers ready.
hey, that part. Listen, I want to tell y'all this, okay? It is okay to replace, relieve, remove,
Mm.
realign. I love the re words because re means that you are ready to restart, rebuild, refocus,
Mm,
do whatever is necessary for you to be the best version of yourself. So if you're not able to do that by yourself, be okay with finding some support to help you on that journey.
mm,
Because one thing that I want us to understand, we do not have to embrace these obstacles, these trials, these tribulations by ourselves.
mm,
Be okay with seeking your support. Be okay with making new friends. That no new friends, hey, we left that pre-COVID, okay?
mm,
I have made some amazing new connections, some amazing new friends. Be okay with making those shifts, but just understand that your biggest priority is going to always be you
mm-hmm.
first.
Yes, and that was
Period.
beautiful. Like you said,
Absolutely.
love yourself and grow. So,
Yes.
sis, um, let people know where they can find you because if y'all looking for new friends, here we are.
Hey, period. Period. So I am on all social media at Coach K Transforms. I am on LinkedIn as Kisha Woods, so you can definitely follow me and connect over there. My website is upgraded mindsets with the Z.life. The store is upgraded mindsets.shop. And you can also check me out on YouTube at the Upgraded Mindsets Media channel, where both of my podcasts are currently streaming: Empowering Real Talk and The Woman's Hustle, Thrills and Spills. So make sure you subscribe over there. Check out some of the amazing episodes. And like I said, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always open for conversations. I'm always open for chats. If it's something that you think I can help you with becoming a better version of yourself, reconditioning that mind and elevating that entrepreneurial purpose, hey, I'm
Mhm.
definitely here. Don't hesitate to reach out to your girl.
Sis, your books again.
Yes. So the From Havoc to Healing, 30 Days of Recondition again is available on Amazon and the Upgraded Mindsets shop store. And the Journey to Activate Our Best Life is only on the Upgraded Mindsets shop store. So these are both printed copies. These will both be shipped to you. From Havoc to Healing is available on Kindle. So if you get that off Amazon, you can get the Kindle version as well. And like I said, I've definitely got some free resources. The secret to developing an entrepreneurial mindset. If you go to my website, and I actually will put my link tree
Okay, in the chat.
here in the notes real quick. Let me grab that real quick before we get out of here, because if you, my link tree will honestly give y'all everything about your girl. So that will actually be the best place to find everything about me. So let me throw that here in the chat
Okay.
before we go. And that is where you'll be able to find everything about Coach K, all of my details
Okay,
about
good.
what I offer, and all of that good stuff. So that's the best place to find me. And you can sign up to get updates. So when I add links, when I add new information, new resources, you'll be the first to know.
Get the link, get the book, call her up for your first consultation. Hey, like she said,
Absolutely.
we threw the no more new friends back in COVID, and we finding new friends because we trying to upgrade our mindset over here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Alicia, it was great. Thank you so much for you guys' feedback and input and just engaging tonight. I'm super grateful. I love these type of things. So,
Yes. Thank you, everybody. Have a great
bye,
weekend.
y'all.
Okay, hold on just a second, coach.
Okay.